Some nights on the NHL calendar feel routine. Others feel like they carry the weight of something bigger, like a look into the future, or a warning shot from a contender trying to announce itself before the rest of the league catches on. Tonight is one of those nights. 4 matchups, 4 storylines, and 4 battles that feel like they're pulling the standings in new directions. And if you've been watching the league closely, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Games that look normal on paper but feel like playoff previews when the puck drops. Because this isn't just another night in November. No, this is where momentum gets built, seasons get shaken up, and reputations start to form. So buckle up, because we are diving deep into what might just be one of the most pivotal slates of early season hockey. And by the end, you're going to know exactly where the edges lie, where the traps are hidden, and which teams are truly ready to take that next step. It begins in Tampa Bay, where 2 powerhouses from opposite coasts collide under the bright lights of Benchmark International Arena. The New York Rangers come in 8-7-2, shadowboxing between flashes of brilliance and stretches of inconsistency. They sit 5th in the Metropolitan, tied at 18 points with a handful of teams trying to carve out space near the playoff line. Across the ice, the Tampa Bay Lightning stand at 8-5-2, also with 18 points, 4th in the Atlantic, trying to remind the rest of the East that even if their names change, even if their lines shuffle, the DNA of a champion never fades. It's a matchup that feels bigger than the standings suggest, because both teams are desperate for traction. New York searching for consistency, Tampa Bay trying to protect home ice and reassert their identity. New York's offensive rhythm this season has been a puzzle. They average just 2.41 goals per game, but allow 2.73, numbers that underline grit, work ethic, and flashes of brilliance without the finishing touch that elite teams lean on. Their brightest star has been Adam Fox, 13 points through 15 games, 3 goals, 10 assists, quarterbacking the blue line with the elegance of a surgeon. Artemi Panarin remains the finisher with 5 goals and 52 shots, the volume shooter who forces defenses to collapse every single shift. Tampa Bay, though, they punch harder. Their 3.07 goals per game tower over New York's output while giving up the exact same defensive number, 2.73 against. Jake Guentzel has been electric, 15 points, 9 assists, while Brandon Hagel's 7 goals show how ruthless he's been around the crease. And of course, Victor Hedman, still the anchor, piling up 12 assists, dictating the breakout with the same calm command he's had for years. Defensively, both teams lean on their stars. Fox drives New York's transition game with poise and elite vision while Gavrikov leads the team at +5. Tampa counters with Hedman's steady physical presence and Cernik's reliability when the blue line pushes forward. And then, the real marquee matchup, Igor Shesterkin versus Andrei Vasilevsky. Shesterkin sits at 5.62 with a 2.46 GAA and 8.909 save percentage, numbers that don't reflect how many nights he's kept New York alive. Jonathan Quick, surprisingly sharp, sits at 3.10 with a 1.26 GAA and 8.950 save rate. Tampa's Vasilevsky mirrors Shesterkin statistically, 5.42, a 2.64 GAA, and 8.908 save percentage, but at home, he becomes a different beast. Jonas Johansson, the backup, adds stability with his .916 mark. Momentum feels split. The Rangers have taken 3 of their last 5, including a strong 6-3 win over Nashville, but that ugly 5-0 loss to the Islanders still stings. Tampa's rolling. 4 wins in 5, strong showings against Vegas and Utah, only stumbling against Colorado. This game feels like a special teams battle. New York sits at 19% on the power play with an 80.4% kill. Tampa Bay brings an 18.3% power play but an elite 89.6% penalty kill. And that right there might be the hinge. Tampa thrives on turning special teams into momentum swings. Discipline will be New York's make or break. Once you dig into all of it, the pace, the matchups, the home advantage, the goaltending, Tampa Bay feels like the more complete team at this moment. Expect tight neutral zone play early, bodies flying, both sides respecting each other's speed. But as the game opens up, Hedman's stretch passes and Guentzel's distribution will stretch New York's back end. In the third, Tampa's balanced scoring and home ice composure should tilt it. Prediction: Lightning win. Total: under 6.5. And then we shift to Philadelphia, where the Edmonton Oilers and Flyers collide in a matchup of contrasts. Raw firepower versus structural discipline, elite star talent versus balanced lineup identity. Edmonton sits at 7-6-4, fifth in the Pacific, carrying 18 points, always dangerous but always seemingly one defensive breakdown away from chaos. Philadelphia stands at 8-5-2 with 18 points of their own, sixth in the Metropolitan, but playing like a team that knows its limits and maximizes its strengths. And that's what makes this matchup so intriguing. You've got two teams chasing rhythm, but chasing it with completely different philosophies. Edmonton's story begins with the same two names it always does. Connor McDavid, 24 points, 7 goals, 17 assists, still looking like the most dangerous man alive on a hockey rink. Leon Draisaitl with 10 goals and a ridiculous 23.3% shooting percentage. The Oilers average 3.06 goals per game and boast a monstrous 32.6% power play that can shred any opponent. The problem is containment. Their defense bleeds 3.47 goals a night. Evan Bouchard and Darnell Nurse eat heavy minutes, but the structure in front of the crease collapses too often, and the goalies get shelled. Stuart Skinner at 5-4-3 with a 2.91 GAA and .883 save percentage is the definition of inconsistency, brilliant when he's locked in, vulnerable when he's not. Philadelphia doesn't overwhelm you with flash, but they wear you down with discipline. They score 2.67 per game, allow 2.60, and their penalty kill hums at 88.2%. Trevor Zegras leads them with 16 points, while Travis Konechny's 5 goals set the tone on the forecheck. They play within themselves, structured, poised, calculated. And Dan Vladar, he's been phenomenal. A 6.30 record, a 2.18 GAA, and a .917 save percentage. Calm under pressure, anticipatory, reliable. If this becomes a goalie duel, and it likely will, Vladar holds the edge. Momentum leans neutral. Edmonton's last 5 include a thrilling OT win over Columbus and a grind-it-out shootout loss to Dallas, offset by that 9-1 collapse to Colorado. Philadelphia's dropped 3 of 5, but every loss has been tight. OT heartbreakers, 1-goal margins, disciplined play even in defeat. Tactically, this is rhythm versus restraint. Edmonton wants open ice, creativity, and speed. Philadelphia wants to suffocate that pace and force dump and chase sequences. And the Flyers' penalty kill versus the Oilers' power play. That's where this game breaks. One mistake, one misread, one untimely penalty. It's that close. Ultimately, despite everything, the Oilers still have the 2 best players on the ice. And sometimes, especially in tight, tactical games, that matters. Prediction: Oilers win. Total: under 6.5. Next, we head to Salt Lake City, where the Utah Mammoth return home at 9-7-0 with 18 points, firmly in the Central Division chase. Buffalo, meanwhile, comes in at 5-6-4 with 14 points, dead last in the Atlantic, winless on the road at 0-3-2, and desperately trying to stop their season from unraveling. Utah already beat Buffalo 2-1 in overtime earlier this season, and with the Mammoth sitting 4-1-0 at home, the odds tilt heavy toward the Rockies. Utah's offense has been rolling. Nick Schmaltz leads with 19 points, 9 goals, 10 assists, while Clayton Keller and Logan Cooley have turned the top 6 into a nightmare to defend. Keller sits on an 18-point tear with a ridiculous 27.6 shooting percentage. Their attack averages 3.19 goals per game and layers pressure with elite puck retrieval and zone cycling. On defense, Mikhail Sergachev and Ian Cole anchor a blue line that plays heavy, physical, and clean. Buffalo continues to rely heavily on Alex Tuch, who leads with 14 points. Tage Thompson sits at 12, while only 2 others have cracked 8 points. Their power play is a modest 17.4%, their penalty kill below 90%, and their scoring sits at 2.67 per game while giving up 3.27. Their effort is there, but the execution isn't. And the road record tells the real story: close games that slip away late, defensive lapses in key moments, and a team that can't find the extra gear when it matters most. Alex Leone has been a quiet hero. 9.12 save percentage, 2.92 GAA, facing over 31 shots a night. But Lukkonen's 8.77 mark has hurt in relief. Utah counters with Vejmelka at 7.40 with a 2.91 GAA and .881 save percentage, battling well despite rebound issues, while backup Van Essek hasn't provided much stability. Neither team has elite goaltending, but Utah's defensive structure gives them more breathing room. And that might be all they need. Buffalo's last 5 include losses to Carolina, St. Louis, Utah again, and Boston, with a shootout win over Washington mixed in. They skate hard, but they don't finish games. Utah's lost 3 straight, but all tight, all impressive battles against top teams. Returning home gives them the jolt they need. Expect Buffalo to hang tough. 2 periods of effort, maybe even a tied or 1-goal game, but Utah's top 6 will break through. Their puck movement is sharper, their scoring layers deeper, and their home energy stronger. Prediction: Utah Mammoth win. Total: over 5.5. And finally, a showdown inside a buzzing United Center where the Chicago Blackhawks bring their home win streak into a battle with the top of the Metro New Jersey Devils. New Jersey sits at the 1st of April 11 with 24 points, leading their division with structure, depth, and star chemistry. Chicago stands at 8-5-3 with 19 points, fighting for separation in a congested Central Division, riding the explosive rise of one of the NHL's brightest young stars. New Jersey's attack fires through Jack Hughes, 18 points, 10 goals, 8 assists, and Jesper Bratt with 11 helpers. Dawson Mercer's +7 rating underlines the balance of this lineup. They score 3.31 goals per game but allow 2.94, a team that pushes pace but sometimes pays for it defensively. Chicago counters with Connor Bedard, already sitting at 25 points, 9 goals, 16 assists, with a +10 rating while averaging over 21 minutes per game. He drives everything, the heartbeat of a rejuvenated franchise. Around him, veterans like Andrei Burakovsky and Teuvo Teravainen provide scoring layers. Chicago also averages 3.31 goals per night while allowing just 2.50. Tight defense, improved goaltending, and a team that closes games with a maturity far beyond what their roster age suggests. In net, Jake Allen has stabilized New Jersey with a 6.20 record, a 2.29 GAA, and a .914 save rate. Markstrom has been shakier, but reliable in stretches. Chicago's Spencer Knight has been spectacular, 6.32 with a .926 save percentage and a 2.33 GAA, while Arvid Soderblom adds steady backup support. Both teams allow high shot volumes, meaning goaltending composure will dictate the momentum swings in this one. New Jersey enters hot, 4 wins in 5 with an 18-11 goal differential. Chicago's also rolling, winning 4 of 5 with signature victories over Detroit and Vancouver. Bedard thrives in transition chaos. The Devils thrive in structured pressure. It's a stylistic tug of war. New Jersey brings an elite 25.6% power play that could be the difference maker against Chicago's strong but not elite penalty kill. Bratt's creativity on the half wall and Hughes' edge work create angles few teams can manage. Chicago counters with a lethal transition attack driven by Bedard. If they can dictate pace through his line while avoiding long defensive zone shifts, they'll have chances. But New Jersey's depth and structure, and Jake Allen's poised goaltending, give them a slight edge. Expect a fast-paced, playoff-style game with momentum trading back and forth. Chicago will make pushes, Bedard will shine, but the Devils' layered scoring and late-game composure take it. Prediction: New Jersey Devils win. Total: over 5.5. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure you smash that like button, drop a comment with your predictions, and subscribe to Beyond the Box Score so you never miss a deep dive NHL preview like this. Your support helps us keep delivering the sharpest analysis, the boldest predictions, and the stories behind the stats every single night. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.